What's up, guys? What I wanted to do in this video is actually compare a couple of other brands of 1911s. You guys seem to like some of these comparison videos that I've been doing, particularly surrounding the 1911s, and I thought that I would continue that and actually look at a few more. And before we get started, guys, I would really appreciate it if you would share this video. Just grab the link, share it on your social media, wherever that may be. It really helps the channel out. It helps the channel grow. Also, guys, I would appreciate it if you would be interested in checking out all of the links down in the description. Those are affiliate links, and those type of things help continue to fund bringing videos like this, because as many of you all know, firearms are not cheap. To get started, what I want to look at in today's video is a comparison between Kimber 1911s and Tisas 1911s. Now, across the board, the absolute first thing that we have to acknowledge is that there is a significant amount of price difference. Price point is a big thing when it comes to comparing these two manufacturers. Typically, Kimbers are known for being much more expensive than Tisas or some of these imported guns. But at the same time, that does not necessarily mean that a Tisas 1911 pistol is not a good gun. Of course, if you have been a follower of my channel, you know that I am a fan of Tisas, and I am also a fan of Kimber 1911 pistols. And you can see a few of them out here before us. Now, when you actually go to your shops and things like that looking at these two, there are going to be a wide variety of options out there. Tisas is actually manufacturing 1911s that are in many ways replicas of a lot of the classics, just like this one here. This is my Tisas 1911A1, and you do see just a little bit of oil on that, guys. That's not just some kind of camera thing. If you have watched my channel for a while, you will know that if there is a gun that I'm not going to shoot for a bit, when I clean it, I'll actually put it up just a little bit wet, so we do have just a little bit of residue there. So the Tisas 1911A1, this is a clone of the firearm that was carried by U.S. troops during World War II. It does have the bump in the back, you know, the GI bump. And it is one that, unless you know what to look for, you're going to be hard to distinguish between this and an actual GI firearm. Okay, you've got to know what you are going to look for if you want to try to tell the difference between the two. And it is a great gun. This gun is absolutely wonderful. It is a dream to shoot. There again, you going for the realism of the classic, you know, 1911 that are carried by the soldiers. You can even get the hammer bite if you're not gripping this gun properly. You know, you can actually get just a little bit of hammer bite with that gun, and it will pinch you if you get too high. The trigger is great. The trigger on this gun is great. I would say it's probably much better than those original GI models, but it is a reliable gun. I've not had any issues with it. I don't have a lot of rounds through it, but the rounds that I do have through it, I've not had any issues with it. And that's something that is known for Tisas. The 1911 carry that I have here, also a Tisas firearm. This is my stainless. It has been in several of my videos, and it is one that I actually talked about why a break-in period for a 1911 is an important part of the process. 1911s are a completely different type of firearm than the polymer guns that are out there today. You know, this is a classic design. This is over 100-year-old design by the time I'm recording this video, you know, like 112-year difference. And it is still one that is around today. It is copied more than any other pistol design in history. And there's a lot of manufacturers out there doing a lot of great things with this. Of course, this Tisas model has a few upgrades over the GI. Okay, you can see some of the differences between these two guns. Of course, this is the carry model. It does have the shorter slide. It does have upgraded sights. and these sights are dovetailed in to where they can be replaced if you wanted to do so. Of course, there is a very good blending between the frame and the slide on both of these firearms. The Tisas that's something about them. For a mass-produced gun, this is something that you should notice. I mean, it is a very tight fit. I'm not going to say very tight, but it is a very good fit. And it is one that is still reliable, especially after you have put in the round count to run it to make sure that it's going to do well, just to kind of help smooth things out. And I know there's a lot of folks out there that give me hate all the time when I talk about a break-in period for a 1911. Using good magazines, good ammo, keep them clean, and they will work well. Kimber is a manufacturer that is known for making high-end 1911s in some cases. Now, I know there's folks out there that say, oh, Kimber is not a high-end manufacturer. Well, not every one of us has the extra money to go spend $3,000 and $4,000 on a single pistol, okay? You know, and Kimber's, I am a fan of Kimber. I really like Kimber 1911s. I am a big fan of them. I think they make some high-quality 1911s. There, for a brief period of time, they did have a few quality issues with some of their guns, okay? At the same time, I also will need to default back to the fact that a Kimber is, being a 1911, being that classic design, it is one that will need to have a little bit of a break-in period. If you are going to own a 1911, if you are going to enjoy shooting that 1911, when you first get that firearm, get a few hundred rounds through it, and you will potentially have a few hiccups. That is very possible, because as things work, as the machinery works together, because that's basically what this is, it is a machine. It works together, and it just has to rough off or smooth off some of those rough spots. You know, these guns, again, are mass-produced, even though Kimber started out as basically a custom 1911 maker. They have moved more into mass production, but they still produce some very high quality firearms. Okay, this gun is one that I've had for a while. You guys have seen it on the channel. And one thing that I wanted to bring up, of course, the Kimbers do have the full-length guide rod compared to the Tisas. You can see the full-length guide rod here on my Kimber, unlike my Tisas. You know, these do not. They have just the regular GI button. Okay, same on the GI model. One thing that I wanted to point out that is one of the differences between the Kimbers and the Tisas. Of course, you know, not just the GI button, not just the full-length guide rod. The fact that these two guns are the barrel bushing. This is one of the differences that we're going to find between a lot of the models of the Tisas and the Kimbers. The Kimber barrel bushing is much tighter than what the Tisas barrel bushing is. Okay, the Tisas barrel bushing, I can remove this with no tools, with just by my hands, with no problem whatsoever. My Kimber, particularly my Kimber Hero, this one here, beautiful gun, love this gun. You know, the designs that's on it, I absolutely love this gun. I cannot get that barrel bushing out unless I use a bushing tool. The fitment on that is very tight, okay? It has a very solid and very positive lockup, okay? Even with that hammer back, you can just feel that lockup on this gun. That barrel bushing, you know, it is very tight there. However, I have not had any issues with reliability with this firearm. Okay, that tight bushing is intended to help with accuracy and that sort of thing, especially if you get out the distance. Much more accurate than what I would be able to do with it. And but still, it is a very good firearm, very reliable firearm. But that is one of the differences with the Tisas. You know, don't let that be seen as a negative. Okay. Just because that barrel bushing is not necessarily as tight as what it is on my Kimber, this is still a very good fit. It is a great fit, and it still works very well. Okay, and a lot of folks would probably prefer a little bit looser barrel bushing, if they can get the firearm apart by hand. You know, I can simply depress the bushing or the button, and I can rotate that and actually disassemble this firearm if I wanted to. No problem whatsoever. Okay, just like that. It's very, very easy, very user friendly. And if you were going to carry something like this and you needed to be able to disassemble it with no tools, this would be your better option, for the fact that you don't have to have any tools. This Kimber, my hero, I love this gun. Great gun. I like all of my guns. I don't have guns I don't like. This one, I can depress that. Okay? I can get that to go down. Not with my thumb, but I have to use something. Okay? I can use the magazine, I can use a tool or whatever, and I can depress that. Even after I have it depressed, I cannot rotate that, because there again, we're fighting the inside fitment of the slide as well as the fitment to the barrel, because those tolerances are just that much tighter. That is something that Kimber has done. Okay? That's a comparison with one of them. This is my Kimber Custom 2. Of course, this is my Kimber Hero. This is my Kimber Custom 2. It is very similar. Okay? Not all are going to be identical as far as their fit and finish, but the lockup and everything on this firearm is pretty much the same as my Hero. Okay, it does have the full-length guide rod as well. On this gun, do have a little more ability to get it apart. Okay, but I always have to have something to depress this with, whether it's the tool or whatever. Okay, not just because it's a full-length guide rod. You know, it's much easier to use a tool on my Kimbers because of the finish or the fitment between that barrel bushing and the slide and the barrel. Okay, there again, very tight lockup in my opinion. Are there others out there that are tighter? Yes. Okay, if you get something like a Dan Wesson or something like that, yes, it's going to be a much tighter fitment. Okay, those are handmade guns. These are mass-produced guns. Nothing wrong with those. There is some hand fitting that is still involved in the manufacture of these firearms. Again, very solid lockup, very tight lockup. No wiggle. Okay, virtually no wiggle in my Kimbers. You know, you may get a slight amount of wiggle, but it's not very much. Okay, now Kimber has several different styles out there depending on what you may be interested in. They have just several different styles out there. They've got a lot of guns out there that I just absolutely love. Okay, they have one example here, my Raptor. Another one. Love this gun. Great gun. It is the carry model. This gun has a lot of additional features. It's a little more of a higher end Kimber than like what the Custom 2 would be. Okay, this is basically your baseline Kimber. Okay, the Custom 2. This is more of a higher end. Okay, then you also have, you know, something like the Hero Edition, more along the custom line, things like that, more features, and still great guns. Tisas is doing the same type of thing. Okay, we have the carry model. Tisas also has a lot of other models out there on the market as well that they're doing some great designs. That's the only thing that I can say. Absolutely terrific designs. And I plan on, at some point, I plan on trying to have a few more myself just because I like what they're doing. Tisas has impressed me when it comes to manufacturing 1911s. I think they're doing a great job. Now, taking my carry, my 1911 carry model. When I actuate the safety, okay, the safety on this is one thing that I'm going to have to say, I don't think it is fitted as well as it could be. It's a little spongy, okay? It does not have that true positive click as something like this, okay? This is a very positive click. You can hear it, how loud that click is, okay? Very positive click, okay? My Tisas, you can hear that click, but it is nowhere near as pronounced. It is a little more spongy, as I'd mentioned earlier, okay? Even my 1911 A1, it is better than what my carry is as far as the way that it feels. However, it still has a little bit of sponginess to it. And just to show you something else, look at this. Okay, you can kind of see that, how that it will actually go down just a little bit past that detent or whatever, or not necessarily past the detent, but it's just a little bit more sponginess compared to any of my Kimbers. Very positive click, on or off. Okay, it doesn't move. Once it's down, it's there. It doesn't move down any further. But at the same time, huge price difference. Big price difference between this and either one of these two. Okay, huge price difference. The same with my other Kimbers. The safeties on them, even though it does not have the ambi safety the way that my Raptor does, okay, the way that my Tisas does, okay, it is still, it's a very positive safety. Okay, very positive. The same on my Custom 2. A very positive safety. Okay, very positive. Feels good. So, does that mean that this is terrible or anything? No, no. Could it be a little better? Yes, I think that it could be. But at the same time, when we start getting into hand fitting parts, which there again, that's something that on Kimbers, I'm sure that they are probably doing still just a certain amount of hand fitting on these. Plus, these are made in the United States. These are made in Turkey. Okay. Now, that being said, the fact that this is made in Turkey, some folks are going to say, well, they're going to criticize it. Well, you're giving money to your enemies and all that kind of stuff. Now, I just ask you, what kind of iPhone or Android are you using? Because you might want to look up where it came from. Yes, I get those comments all the time, but anyways, this is still a good gun. Okay, SDS imports, the Tisas 1911s, several different ones. You know, if that's the only problem with this gun, I have no problems with this gun. I enjoy shooting this gun. This is the one 1911 that I will carry at times when I carry a 1911 because I've got the round count through it, as I've mentioned in other videos, and it has shown itself to be very reliable. Some of my Kimbers, when I'm around home, I may carry them, but just because I like, you know, carrying one occasionally. If I'm going to a barbecue or something, these are great barbecue guns. Even these, great barbecue guns, in my opinion. The 1911 is just a classic firearm, and one that is going to be around for many years to come. You know, that's just the way there is to it. Of course, a lot of the upper end features, comparing this Kimber, we do have front serrations. We do have very aggressive front serrations. We have the memory bump. We have rear serrations, the grips. Now on this Tisas, I have replaced these grips. These are a set of lock grips. I will link them down in the description below if any of you guys are interested. These are the palm swell type. Very, very good grips in my opinion. They feel good in the hand. They give you just that extra little bit when you grip this firearm, especially for your support hand, that G10. It really helps. They feel good, especially on this gun. You know, I will link those down in the description below. Go check them out. The sights on this, standard 3-dot. You know, nothing too fancy. On this one, standard 3-dot. You know, they're nothing too fancy either. But at the same time, they're both dovetailed in. You know, both manufacturers do have that on some of their firearms. You know, so you can upgrade sights and that sort of thing. Of course, the GI model does not. You know, it is a fixed sight. There again, they meant this gun to emulate the original 1911A1, and I think they've done a fantastic job in doing that. But those are just some of the differences, some of the similarities between the Kimber 1911s and Tisas 1911s. I enjoy both. I enjoy both brands. I am someone who just enjoys firearms. I like shooting them. I like taking my guns down to my range. I am fortunate enough, I've been blessed enough to be able to have a place that I can shoot and enjoy my firearms. Okay? Kind of messing things up here as I'm trying to organize these a little bit better for you. But that's just an overview of a comparison between Tisas and Kimbers, two manufacturers that I am a fan of. Okay, I love my Kimbers. As you can see, here's just a few of them here. I love my Tisas pistols. Got a couple of them here. They're great. Okay, I would not want to get rid of any of them. Okay, I enjoy shooting them. And with that, I do appreciate you guys sticking around. Let me hear from you. I would like to know what you like about one of these manufacturers and what you don't like about one of these manufacturers. Put that down in the comments below. I would appreciate it. Also, guys, as I had mentioned earlier, I would appreciate it if you would share this video. Please check out all of the links down in the description. You can also become a channel member. Things like that really do help support what I try to do here on this channel. And it helps to provide the things that we need to talk about. You know, so I would really appreciate that. But guys, thanks for watching. Check out the rest of the videos on my channel. Leave me a comment down below. Visit my website at boomsticktactical.com. And we will see you next time.